Welcome back, and we'll continue our conversation. But this time, we're going to look at the death penalty. Is it still relevant? The use of the death penalty in Nigeria generates mixed opinions amongst people in the society. While some find this form of punishment as a tool which violates the human rights or the rights to life, which is considered a fundamental human right, others think it's the right kind of penalty. I mean, particularly for those who have killed others. This week, the governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, signed into law the bill prescribing different sentences as penalty for kidnappers, while the law stipulates death sentence for kidnappers whose victim dies in their custody. It prescribes life imprisonment for those who kidnap for ransom. In the year 2013, the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, signed into law the Kidnapping Prohibition Law 2009, amended by the Edo State House of Assembly. The law prescribes the death penalty for anyone involved in any form of kidnapping in the state. Other states have signed some form of laws for one thing or the other. Yes, I think Cross River State has signed a death penalty for some crime as well. So the question I want to ask is the death penalty a viable form of punishment? Is it still relevant? Should it be done away with?
Has it served its purpose, or does it serve the purpose?
Does it serve the purpose? And you know, there was a conversation in that, I think there was a summit in Lagos in the course of the week where Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, talked about the fact that for a long time, no state governor in Lagos has actually signed the death sentence for those that have been sentenced to death, and also how much of it, how effective has that law been? Well, to help us look at all of this, we have in the studio Omolara Orie, Director, Human Rights and Advocacy, the Initiative for Equal Rights. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Chief Abdullahi Tony Dania, rights activist and social commentator. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Also here is Olukemi Adeoju, a social entrepreneur, coordinator, Save Mom and Child Initiative. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Whew, okay, so let me begin with Chief Dania. They say ladies first. After
that's what I wanted to say.
So, Chief Dania, in your opinion, what do you think about the death penalty?
Well, death penalty, I think, is good and suitable and should be sustained for those that killed. If you kill unlawfully, you should face the penalty of death. It is meant to also deter those who have the intention to kill. The fact that the governors, few governors have not signed already convicted persons who are on the death row does not matter. The feeling, psychological feeling that they are bound to die because they have killed is there. And if any person is preparing to go and commit a crime which that person knows could cause death to another person, that person will think of the fact that if he kills, he is likely to also be killed. I will say that I want to look at death penalty vis-a-vis the new law made by the Lagos State government recently. I think that law, with respect, is an unnecessary repetition of pre-existing laws. If you go to the criminal law of the same Lagos State, I have it here, there are sections that have taken care of all these things. For example, if you kidnapping is there in that law. What they should do is to implement and seriously execute existing law. Today I read in the papers that the immigration, they discovered that most foreigners are coming in. They told the hotel, they didn't create new law. They said there is a law that states that any foreigner that lodge in any hotel, the hotel is bound to give details of that foreigner. Please make sure you comply with the law. So we have in the criminal law of Lagos State, I think, I've forgotten the section now, but it prescribes 21 years if you kidnap. Okay. Then the death thing that the Lagos State government is saying that if the victim dies, for God's sake, we have murder as an offense in the criminal law, criminal code. We have murder, and murder is a state offense. So the state high court can try murder, and if you commit murder, for the penalty is death. So repeating it in a new law, I'm surprised that the honorable members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, and with respect to the Attorney General of Lagos State, these laws are there. So I think the idea is to, capture the minds of or impress Lagosians that the state is doing. So now they have succeeded. A lot of people have been commending them and all that. We appreciate the fact that they want to fight crime, particularly kidnapping, but they can execute existing laws. Have they repealed those laws? Those laws are there. The only difference is that they have recommended life imprisonment for kidnapping, whereas in the criminal law of the same Lagos state is 21 years imprisonment. What's the difference?
Okay. Olukemi, what's your take?
My take on this is basically to even know if you actually what is the why do people even kidnap? I think because apart from looking at the law, again, like before we come in, I was actually discussing with my colleagues here that we have a lot of laws in Nigeria, but the problem we've been having before now is actually implementing those laws. And I think this one, if you're not very careful, it will also, yes, like he has pointed out, that it's already existing in the criminal law of Lagos State. But then, of course, you also observe that they've been able to score some political points in terms of bringing it out specifically. But again, why do people kidnap? I think for me, that's when immediately I saw that, I feel that I think we should look at the root cause of why people even indulge in kidnapping. Yes, however, I want to look at it, we might say, okay, no matter what happened, if the person is poor or whatever, you are not actually supposed to kidnap. But the fact is that before now, some years back, we've not been experiencing that. We don't have that issue of people going out to kidnap. And moreover,
kidnapping has been there for a long time.
But it's not as common as this. It's not this common. That every now and then, even children, yes, it has been there, but not this common. You've not been seeing people going to schools. Going to schools now, even with the security in schools, not kidnapping children out of those schools. People even going to the market, even in their cars, they drag people out and kidnap. It's not been done. But I think it's also because the government, I think the government has also not been doing very well in terms of prosecuting those people that they've already arrested. The people who kidnap, after they'll pay, sometimes they pay ransom, sometimes they tell us that they don't pay while they pay. And after that, what happened to the offender? Nothing much has been happening. So I think if the criminal law has been existing before now, and we've not been implementing it very well, obviously, it's very possible there's a likelihood that this particular law is also going to go the same way.
But, Amona, give me 1 second. If we're talking about the death penalty now, not just for kidnapping, but for everything, is it really effective as it should be? Has it been effective? I mean, during the military era, we saw how sort of like seemed to scare everybody that was, and indeed, when you hear the death penalty for a crime, it is enough to. But has it served its purpose?
Well, I have 3 angles to this issue of death penalty. Number one is the death penalty itself is an offshoot of a culture of violence. It won't serve as deterrence to violence. I think that killing people who have committed some offenses is not to show that, oh, our culture abhors violence. It's to show that our culture actually, or whatever we are working with at the moment, encourages violence. Yeah, you don't need anybody to tell you that